Omsakthi sir, welcome to our chat. So today, the question I have for you is: we have seen sages and saints who have renounced the family life and gone into some Himalayas meditation, and they come back after many years, and then they become a saint or a sage. But our Amma is a simple householder, right? Why is it that she needs to be a householder, and what is the philosophy behind it?
Om Shakti, Bangaru Amma. Questions are really tough. See, those are how much challenges, how to go there. Okay, I'll share my experience in this context. In 2013, a group of us Malaysians went to see Amma in the Amma's blessings room, Arulpudam, blessings room, wisdom. Amma suddenly looked at me and she did this. You know, in classical music, they use the
Right.
raga talam. And then she put her hand behind her head here. I didn't know because it was directly she was looking at me and she was doing that. Now that clap, actually, remember I was telling you about vertigo problem, balance. So I didn't understand that. What I did was when Amma did this, and then she did this, she was maunam, she was observing silence. Amma, Bangaru Amma, when I say she means that I'm referring to our Guru Bangaru
Yes,
Amma.
yes,
Because
yep.
so used to calling him Amma, Amma, that so he becomes a she. So it's actually God in principle. Okay. But we're looking at God as a mother. So that's why the she comes in. Right? So anyway, so he did this and then he did this. And I didn't know what was going on. So I just fell at his feet. I just grabbed his feet. I just squeezed it as much as I could. I put my forehead on. I just wanted his blessing. So maybe I thought there's something I did wrong or some mistake I made or something. So anyway, I came back to Malaysia. My vertigo problem came back. So I went to see this doctor and then he asked me to do this. The doctor in Malaysia asked me to do this. So I did it. So I was shocked and stunned for a minute because just a few weeks back, Bangaru Amma did that. So I asked the doctor, why are you asking me to do this? So he said, this is to check your balance. If your vertigo is bad, that means maybe I would have done 2 or 3 and then did this. But since I'm doing it's not bad, you can take medication on that. The next one was, why did Amma do this at the back of the head? Now, when you do meditation, you find that this back portion here, even I think I've mentioned it previously, when talking about Malaysia and in Malaysian context, how the devotees are in Malaysia and all that. Whenever we go and see Bangaru Amma in Melmaruvathur, Amma will ask how are the Malaysian devotees, what are the services they're doing and all that. So in that context, suddenly Amma brought her hand also. In that context, she brought her hand there. She says it's like a picture which I can see from here. Whatever is happening in Malaysia, the services, the thing about Bangaru Amma is, Amma will ask the question as though not doing anything. And then we will talk about it, and then she will not only say, she'll even add more things, and then we are like shocked. So this part, the medulla oblongata, we call it, is where our cardio and respiratory system link together. It comes together. It's a union. And in that, it controls our heart rate, our breathing, our blood pressure. So it's basically a place where there's a union. It's like a marriage, a union. Even the Sinmotri that we hold, these 2 fingers is actually the Jivatma, is the body, which is actually trying to link to God, the Paramatma. So these 3 fingers represent all our senses, our challenges in life, and we are able to control it, and then we purify our body, our mind, our intellect to eventually become pure and become union with the Paramatma, God. So when we hold the Sainthood, I observe this in Bangaru Amma. When it comes to the temple, when talking, is always holding this. So it's a symbolic thing to remind us about the union. So when you talk about marriage, it's just not marriage between a man and wife. You see, even a marriage, there's a vow. What do you call? I take you today as my wife, and from today, from the to hold, to have, and to hold, from this day onwards, for better or worse, in sickness and in health, rich or poorer. These are things that we make a vow for a commitment to be faithful, to be loyal, and in whatever it is, good or bad, we are together in this. So, marriage in that sense, it gives you the experience. You need to have that first-hand experience. And Bangaru Amma being married, having a wife, having children, when someone asks us about marriage life or marriage problems, Amma can address it because Amma is there. She has gone through it. As a householder, she's able to address our issues because practically, that's the other important aspect of Bangaru Amma's teachings, being practical, being just not philosophical and being wisdom about it, but being practical. Now, here I would like to give a very short story about, basically a lot of spiritual people, they embrace renunciation, they take up sannyasam, because to them having sannyasam gives them a better control of the worldly pleasures, worldly challenges. So they go to the mountains and they go to the forest to abstain themselves, to control themselves. They renounce it, and then they get the wisdom, and then they come back. But Bangaru Amma is with us from laymen to the intellectuals. Amma is able to address everybody's problems because Amma, being a householder, having a married life, having wife, children, and the problems and the challenges which come with it, like what we have as a father and as a mother, as a parent, we go through it. I'm sure you, as a father, you were a son. You saw your mother and your father, how they raised you, all the sacrifices that they did to raise you, to give you a good life. The sacrifices, they had the experience. Similarly, Bangaru Amma has the experience. So in this story, one of the most prominent gurus in India was Adi Shankara. He was a stellar guru at his time. He had a lot of followers, and till today, he's one of the biggest, in fact, the biggest in Tamil Nadu. You take the head of all the temples is actually under the Adi Shankara's mud, we call it. No? So the story is he's a sannyasi, and those days they used to have debates, great debates. You know? So there was another sage by the name of Mandana Misra. He's married. He's got a wife who's also equally a scholar and a sage. So they wanted to have a debate about ritualistic, and renunciation. Now, in that great debate, they appointed Misra's wife to be the referee, the judge. Now, in that debate, a lot of things came up, and Adi Shankara being more prominent, more wisdom-wise and all that. The wife of Misra was the referee. She suddenly came in, and then she said that you may have won against my husband, but are you married? Do you know what is it to like have a wife, children? You know what's sex about and all that? At that point, Adi Shankara, it hit him in the sense that he didn't have that experience. So he, in this event, in this episode, he says, I need a break. I need a 1 month break because I don't have the experience. I need to get the experience in order to have a debate with you. So he has that powers, when you go and you will get powers when you go to the mountain and forest and, you renounce everything. Yeah, you make a sacrifice, you will be able to get some powers. So with that power, he took on the form of a king, another body where he married and had experience and all that, and he'll come back. So the point here is, being a sannyasi, he didn't have the experience of a family life. He didn't know that. But here, Bangaru Amma is complete in the sense that the experience of being in a family. And this is very important. Marriage is very, very important for our spiritual progress. Because life, like what we talked about earlier, is about a chance, choices, and the consequences. So unless you have a complete experiential life, experiential learning, life is about experience. About you have that experience, you can talk about it. You can say, yeah, I've been there, I've done it. No, I have the experience to talk about it. So Bangaru Amma, being a householder, is able to advise, able to give wisdom to sannyasis, to even the layman. Some we may argue, of course, there's no right and wrong in spirituality, because it's a very open and closed subject, it's a very big field. But we need a guru to guide us, and from the experience, we know Bangaru Amma to us is God in human form, because he knows everything. You don't have to tell him, in fact. It's not a lot of us, we actually go to a guru and then the guru asks, what is your problem? Then we talk. And then from there, they are able. But here we did not. We just have to go and stand before Bangaru Amma and he's telling us everything. How did he get that wisdom? How did he get? So all this, when we look back at it, oh yeah, he's in a family life. He knows what is it, relationship between husband and wife, relationship between father and children, the children's problems, the children's challenges, the wife's challenges, the wife's problem. He knows because he's been there. So the point here is when you have this complete life, like sannyasam to me, this is my personal opinion, is it's not complete. Because if somebody says, do you have a married life? Have you experienced it? No. That's what happened to Adi Shankara. It's a very poignant and all this, when you actually expand your mind, when you start reading about Ramana Maharishi. Ramana Maharishi, if you look back, how did he get the wisdom? At one point in his life, he said, okay, now I'm dead. What happens to me? I'm dead now. What happens to me? What happens to this body? What happens to this name, Ramana? What happens to this? So that's why he came up with this, who am I, Tattava Masi, and all that. So when you look back at all these, you find that being a householder, it's a complete, fulfilling life in the sense that you have the experience of it. When you have this marriage we're talking about is just not marriage within a man and a woman and a man. It's about your job and you. Think about it. A job, you go to work, you have to have a union. What does the job require you to do? The challenges in the job. And then you, how did you fit in? Do you have the experience to, as you learn, experiential learning, you know what the company wants, what the job requires? It's like a marriage where there are ups and downs, highs and lows, but you get on with it. And how do you blend in? How do you manage all this? So job, you, and then as a student, it's between the studies and you. How do you blend it? How do you unionize it? How do you make studying an interesting thing and a knowledgeable thing? Sports, if you're good in sports, what is your body require you to be an optimum sportsman? So this marriage we're talking about, there's a lot of, it's a thing that will help you to guide you with the experience, the union. So in a more macro level, we're talking about micro, and we're also talking about macro in the sense that in a macro level, to be a complete guru, you need to have this experience. You must have this experience. Because we're talking about laymen, we're talking about intellectuals. You're covering just not the trees, you're covering the whole forest. And you must have that experience. Unless you are a manager or general manager or CEO, unless you have been as a clerk right down and you come up, you are in a better position because you have been down there. You know what are the challenges there. So eventually, when you become a CEO, oh, then you know what is actually happening. So these are things that we need to think about. Do you have that experience? Do you have that wisdom? And here in these 42 years since 1981, right up to now, I found that Bangaru Amma is complete, a complete guru, because he has got all the knowledge in all the fields. You name it, you know, and you do not have to talk about it. It is the beauty. You just have to go instead, and he reads you like a book. Like he says that medulla thing. He knows. He's like a picture. Whether you're in Malaysia, you're in US, he knows what's going on. And he always says marriage is an integral part of spirituality. You really want to have a complete, fulfilling life, get married, then only you know what is on. And maybe you, Chief, you can tell us as a father, as a son, what is your opinion on being a householder? Do you think it is better? Or do you think no, I want to renounce everything and just want to go and to the mountain and get a wisdom?
No,
It's your call.
yeah,
Basically your call.
I think it's the most challenging thing to be a family man and then also be on the path of spirituality, right? If you look at Amma's teaching is for a newborn baby right up to a senior level. Amma's teaching covers everything, right? Right from when you go in front of Amma with the baby and you don't have to tell the problem. Amma knows what it is, right? Whether it's related to nutrition, whether it's related to mother's health, right? And Amma knows that. And
Like a
Amma
father
guides us.
and injecting you. When a baby gets up in the morning, in the night, when you go and mix the milk for the baby, unless you do it only as a father, you know
Right?
about it.
Correct. Yeah. And so, as I said, Amma's teaching is so like an ocean. It covers everyone. And being a sannyasi, I think, is the most easiest thing, right? You get rid of everything, and you don't have to worry about the problems, right? But here, you think about the problem day in and day out. You are inside that. You are soaked in the problems. But how do you handle those problems with a sense of spirituality in your mind? Is what Amma teaches you, right? So that's. But again, I know it was a very difficult question, but excellent explanation. Experience and marriage is what is required, and I think we are blessed to be in an era where Amma was there. We are blessed to, be part of her guidance. We should be blessed to that she saw us, she gave us her input, she guided us, right? Every Pada Puja, I think, is like a teaching that we have got. So, yeah, thank you for your time.
If sannyasam, it is difficult, yes, because you are renouncing everything. It's not an easy thing to do also. But here we're talking about being complete, the thing, So if you talk to a sannyasi, you say, hey, you think it's easier being a celibate, You think it's easier to avoid this, avoid that. I have also got my challenges, But
Right.
I control. But in that control, in the sense that in spirituality is such a big composing thing, when you get the whole picture of it, that's why we say it's
That's right. Yep.
a role model of being a family man where he can integrate with you and he will know how you feel because he's been there, he's done it, he's gone through it. So it is easy for us as a layman to relate that, oh, he's got a wife, he's got children, no. So sannyasam has got its challenges, a householder has got greater challenges. So it's your call whether you which
Yeah.
challenge you want to take. But end of the day, we must remember that life is one life. And do you want to have a complete, or you want to have a challenge which is of a different kind? So being a householder, you have different challenges. Being a sannyasi, a sannyasi would say you have a wife and children, but every children is my child. So you have 3 kids, I have a million kids to take care of. So it's debatable. It's
Right.
debatable.
The other thing is when we are worried about our family or about our kids or about our parents, right? Amma can read that. Amma can read that. Amma can understand that, and Amma can give you a solution for that, right? That is the key because, as I said, Amma also is in that same position as we are. So she understands. She knows where how to correct it, and she does it in such a nice way, without breaking anything. That's the key here. So she, again, as you said, because she's part of the whole system as a householder, as a So she knows that and she is able to guide us.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, sir. We'll meet again next time with a easier question.
No, make it harder, make it tougher. All right. It's a learning experience. Remember. Okay.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Omsakthi.
Please like, share, and subscribe to the Bangaru Amma Global YouTube channel for more inspiring and uplifting videos like this one.